All right, everybody. Welcome to the 2018 Bloc Shop Open semifinals presented by Scarpa. Pete Woods here with Phil Lancier. How are you, Phil?
I'm doing great, Pete. Thanks.
All right, you ready for semifinal round 2018 Bloc Shop Open?
I absolutely am. I think we're going to have a really nice, diverse set of boulders for us and some really strong competitors, both on the men's and the ladies' side, so it's going to be good.
Absolutely. We got an invited field. We got some international athletes coming. We got some local favorites. We got some people from around the States and Ontario. So a little bit of everything. We're going to get semifinal round. Always has a little bit of everything. We got to get from 20 down to 6. So we got to separate the top of the field from the bottom and the middle.
That's right. And we're going to give you a good sense of what these boulders look like in a couple of minutes, just before the competitors come out.
Absolutely, we are.
When curiosity asks, what's across the street? And monotony says, that's not the plan. Exploration says, it is now.
So we had a chat with the route setters, the two chiefs, Jackie Godoff and Tonde Ketillo, both international invited, incredibly professional, long-term route setters, and walked through the intent and the style of each of these boulders in the semifinal round. So we're going to talk about boulder number 1, 2, 3, and 4 in that order. So let's have a look at boulder number 1. So on the women's side, boulder number 1, all the way over on the right.
We're going to get there.
We'll get there.
There we go.
So the women's boulders are red, the men's boulders are yellow, very simple. So the idea on the women's boulder is it's relatively easy to do, but it's also relatively easy to fall off of. So slow, patient climbing is going to be rewarded. There's lots of options through that middle section across the volumes. Press, stand up tall, reach across. So they presented lots of options. The finish move, trickier than you might think.
Yeah.
But they do want to see some tops on this boulder, so this is basically an intro for the ladies.
That's right. It's going to be balancy up until the end. And I think it's quite a contrast, that red ladies boulder, number 1, with what we're going to have for the men.
Absolutely. The men is explosive. It's a dyno right away. So they come out of ISO, and the first thing they're going to get to do is jump up into a not so great but not so terrible undercling. What you don't see on that small dimension volume is there is a hold under there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get your feet up, you smear, and then you got to stab out right to a nice flat hold edge that you need to have there's a jib on it, and you got to go from there.
Right, and then the last two moves are relatively straightforward if you get your footwork right, but a little bit powerful, so if you're a little bit tired right away, you're going to feel that.
Yeah, and you're going to need to keep your power, Pete, for the upcoming boulders, because what we've heard also is that this is also a bit of an intro boulder for the men, difficulty-wise. Boulders 3 and 4 are going to be a lot more, power intensive.
Absolutely. So boulder number 2 for the ladies, very physical boulder. So this is definitely difficult footwork. It's meant to be uncomfortable. So the feet are there, but they're not fantastic. The last move is very position dependent. And talking with Tonde, what they wanted to do for the women, because the field is very diverse, you have some top-end international athletes at the top and then some local athletes down in sort of 15 to 20th place, is they wanted to make the tops expensive. So you'll see a lot of bonuses, but not so many tops. So the boulders might look like they climb in 2 parts, like, oh, it's easy to the middle and then hard to the top, and that's by design in some respects.
Right, and looks like a lot of compression down low. You've got a lot of nice dimension volumes that you can get some toe or heel hook trickery up, but then after that, once you get out of the steeper section and get up on the face, which is also overhanging, then you've got to compress.
Yeah, you got to get a little bit of squeeze on. The men's boulder, super complex. It's really long. It's 12 moves, and there's lots of options. So you've got choices all the way through it. It's meant to be confusing. It's meant to make you work hard. If you take 2 or 3 tries on this boulder, it's not setting you up well with just that 5 minutes rest for boulders 3 and 4. So this boulder is critical that you get it right on your first or second try, or it's going to sap you all the way through.
Absolutely, and you know what Jackie Godoff was telling us is that just underneath the volume where you can see the bonus tab, the bonus hold is actually hidden underneath that big dimension volume that's overhanging at the top. And they cap that hold a bit just to confuse the climbers. So you're going to have some hand jamming in there off the second volume and even the two big pinches that you see in the roof. And then after that, you got to keep your wits about you because it's going to be some very varied and very sensitive kind of climbing to establish yourself out on top of that slabby volume.
And some dicey footwork on those volumes, to be sure. Women's number 3, old school boulder. So slab climbing. There is, right off the hop, you mantle up on that start, and then there is a very small round hold. So that jib is almost perfectly round on top, and you actually need to end up matching it. So a little bit of old school, get your fingertip squeeze on. You hit that big shark fin. You don't really see here, but the big gray dome it's a great big round sloper. It's the biggest, worst foothold you come across, as described by Tonde. You got to lay back that fin, and then the top on this, hard, hard, hard. So power slab, sort of the antithesis of slab, is you need to have some power to get that hand-foot match. You need some power to get up to the top of that boulder. So probably not going to see a lot of tops, maybe 5, 6, 7 tops on this one. It's hard.
Yeah, and as slabs go, it's like what we've seen in other situations or competitions, but that final hold is really just it's almost like a 4-finger match. You have to have 2 fingers for one hand and 2 fingers for the other, and you need to pinch that really delicately. So
yeah, and as Tony said, he said you get to the top hold, and then you have to match.
That's right.
Men's number 3, sorry. It's a powerful boulder. It's physical. It's body tension. A lot of core, Jackie was saying. But it's a straightforward boulder. There's not a lot of secrets to it. You just got to get squeezy. You got to be strong. If you have good physical control, you're not going to have a super hard time with it. But again, after doing number 2, boulder number 3 is going to feel difficult if you spend some time on number 2. So back-to-back power boulders.
Absolutely.
Take a little bit of energy out of these guys.
And some of the final moves are core intensive, something I think some of our seasoned competitors coming from the World Cup circuit are going to maybe have a better time with, but nevertheless, you need to match that big last yellow fin. And, what's intended is to have your feet out right. And the final hold, as you can see right here, is pretty decent, but it's far out. It's seeing it in person, it's a big move.
Yeah, it's a big move. So a couple minutes to go before the odds come out. Let's get you to boulder 4 really quickly. Women's number 4, straight up fight, boxing match, old school, squeezy type. Lots of toe hooks and heel hooks. There's some trickery in there. The top is actually harder than it looks. So there's a blind foot that you see on that volume, on this the third big red volume. There's a little triangle under it, and there's a foothold on there.
Yeah.
Left foot on there makes the top really easy, but right foot out to the right is what is going to lead the climbers the wrong way. It seems obvious. It makes the top much, much, much harder.
Yeah, and those are, gibless, morpho triangles at the top, except for the last one. But it's going to be a bit of a battle once you've come out of the bulge.
Absolutely. And then the last men's boulder, basically a slab boulder, super finger intensive and high risk. So you spent some power in the middle on boulders 2 and 3, and then you get rewarded by having to do a nasty little crimp boulder, but you don't need a lot of biceps for it. You don't need a lot of muscle to do it, but you might be tired, and you got to get your crimp on.
Yeah, you need to get your 2-finger crimp power mode on, and you need to set your fingers to stun to be able to latch that final hold, which is also capped, so it's going to be dicey.
It's going to be dicey. I think we're coming down. We're going to see our first climbers coming out on the ladies' side. We're going to get Lily Canavan from the US of A, and we're going to get Josh Muller from Calgary. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Bloc Shop 2018. This is your semifinal round. Hang out with us. The semifinal, always super exciting. A lot going on. We're going to give you mostly wide shots because eventually we're going to have 8 climbers on 4 boulders each, and it is going to be a zoo out there. Yeah. So we'll try and see what's going on. We might miss something, of course, because we're not going to show wide the whole time, but stick with us. Semifinal is just super fun to watch. We're going to get from 20 down to 6. Let's see what these guys can do.
A lot of action starting right now.
Starting now. Well, as always as designed, the climbers have been called out, and they're in their chairs. And I think we called them out 5 minutes early. So they're getting their shoes on. right, guys. So 3.5 minutes. So we jumped the gun. We heard them call the names, and they're instead of starting climbing at 4 o'clock, we're going to start climbing at 5 after 4. So, what are we going to tell you? We're here in Montreal. The weather's beautiful. We've got a pretty diverse field. We have the invited athletes there's a few from Europe, a few from America. There's a few strong locals for sure, as always. Julien Bourassa-Moreau qualified into 3rd place coming out of that qualifying round with 7 tops out of the 8 qualifiers.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a scramble format in qualifiers, and 8 pretty good boulders and topped 7 of them. So that's a strong performance by local Julien Bourassa-Moreau.
And talking to the route setters about the qualification round, so that modified scramble, 8 boulders, again, trying to test different styles. So the idea is not for a bunch of climbers to top 8 problems. It's for those guys to have to put some climbing time in this morning. They want to get them into it. They want to get them a little bit worked, and they want to see what they're doing. So the route setters watch the qualification round, and they want to see what the climbers are doing and not doing, what they're capable of, how their route setting looks, and they set them backwards. They set finals, semis, qualifiers, and then they basically run them forwards. So they watch the qualifier to see if their semifinal is on point, and then they watch the semi to see if their final's on point, and they basically tweak their way back up the ladder. So from everything I heard this morning, the qualifying round went as expected. Nobody flashed a whole bunch of things. Nobody got spanked around. Basically, everything got topped on both sides of the fence, and they're pretty happy with what went on. So they're definitely, remember, they finished climbing at noon, and here we are at 4 o'clock.
Right.
So 2 sessions in a day.
That's right. You need to get your skin care going. I think that's key. You need to also have taken some active rest. Take some time off in ISO.
You got to eat.
Yeah.
Got to go have a beer, maybe.
I don't know about the beer. I think that's later on today for some of the competitors.
Some of the competitors.
Maybe not those that are going to be coming back tomorrow night for the finals, but
it helps with recovery.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports scientist myself, but I've heard that there's nothing wrong with a glass of wine post-activity and how it may or may not improve your recovery for the next day. So that's science I'd like to get behind.
Yeah,
and I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah.
Lots of coffee, also critical for these guys. You just got to keep your energy up. It's hard to go from qualifying round. They got up early. They were here at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you're up at 6. You're here at 8. You're climbing for the better part of 3 hours. So it's a roller coaster of a day. And so the semifinal round is the hardest round. The boulders are very difficult. The climbers are much more tired than they will be tomorrow night. They get a full day recover before finals. So remember that when you're watching these guys. They climbed this morning, and they were up early, so it becomes a long day.
Yeah. And so still about 15 seconds to go before we see Josh and we see Lily.
And remember, 5 on, 5 off, so these guys are going to take only a couple tries. You might see max 3 or 4 tries, but they're not going to throw themselves at the boulders because they need to recover some of that energy. So we're about to get this show on the road.
And it's on.
Josh and Lily right away having a look. So remember, this is on site. These guys haven't seen the boulders. They have no one to talk to, so this is 100% isolation, on-site climbing. Just you and the boulder. 5 minutes.
And a couple of people watching you.
A few people watching.
Some scrutiny.
So they're going to mime this out. Sometimes you'll see these guys on a complex boulder take up to a minute to have a look at it. Just because you can't just pull on it and climb a boulder like this without putting in the time to look at the movement and second guess yourself 3 or 4 times along the way. I'm going to pull up the stream. If people have questions on the chat, we'll try and get to them. So we'll have that going. So if you want to ask a question, you want to give a shout out, feel free to get that going. We'll see if the chat's on.
Yeah, we had a good time chatting last year with the people on the live feed, and don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll have fun with that. Meanwhile, Lily has gotten to the bonus and stemming out to get that small jib out left, getting into what can seem a comfortable position and chalking out.
But maybe not so easy to get back out of. Josh is going to put a few tries on this dyno. It's a learned movement for sure. You might not get that first try, and Lily is going to walk her way up boulder number 1.
And that, I think, is a flash,
Yep.
Pete. So strong start.
Good stuff. So right away we got a question. We are going with the new scoring system. So it's tops, bonuses, followed by attempts to top and attempts to bonuses. So those are the 4 scoring requirements in order. So tops always critical. We want to see tops, followed by number of bonuses, and then the attempts to get there is it's going to break our ties. So that's the new IFSC format. They ran it all of last season. There's some debate, of course, whether you prefer the old style or the new style. It absolutely changes the route setter's mindset, and to some extent the competitor's mindset, although they're always trying to top all the boulders, so they don't change their approach.
But you need to get, bonuses and be strategic about it if you know you're not going to be able to top a boulder.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I myself am a big fan of the old system, and I will argue it until somebody shows me a functional decision about why the new system is better. The argument is that the new system is easier for non-climbing viewers to understand. So they don't understand how somebody that didn't do as much climbing may have won a competition. And it doesn't sit well with me, and you can disagree with me, that's totally fine. But I like tops as the most important with the number of tries to get there, and then bonuses to break those ties. So that's my personal opinion. But that's not where we are anymore. So we're going to roll with the new system. Oh, Josh Dixidano.
Yeah, and just couldn't keep the compression going with his legs swinging out. But that was a strong effort, and he's got about 1 minute and 30 seconds left to figure that one out.
And what you saw, he was going one hand under and one hand to the jib on the side of that volume. And we did see some forerunning where they went both hands straight under.
Yeah. There he is.
He's a little bit frustrated, only because he looks like he's so close and just can't hold that second part of the swing.
Yeah, still 50 seconds left, and Josh, he needs to show the veteran skill coming out of Calgary, owner of Boulder Climbing Gym.
Yeah, he's been doing this for a long time. Hasn't competed much in the last couple of years, but he's definitely been around a lot of boulders. Here we go. Now he's stuck the boulder. I would expect.
There we go. 30 seconds to go. He's got his time. He's got some time,
and he's got a lot of squeeze. So I just running out of gas.
Yeah, and I think that'll be it for Josh. He knows it as well. 15 seconds to go, and he's going to opt to
walk
keep
away.
that skin for himself for another boulder.
Yeah, with the 5 minute on, 5 minute off format, when the clock hits 0, it doesn't matter if you've got one hand on the finish hold, you're done.
Absolutely.
At 0, it's over. So they're rushing to get on with 20 seconds left. You're not going to see that in the semifinal unless someone's trying to get to a bonus in their last possible attempt.
Yeah.
So we got ourselves Zoe Beauchemin.
And Rahul Sapra out of Oakville. Oakville, Ontario. 20-year-old competitor. Has represented Canada in a couple of events on the World Cup. Actually went to the Navi Mumbai World Cup in 2017, placed 37th. So
he's got it in him. He's an erratic climber from all the events I've watched over the years. Sometimes you'll have a wonderful round, and then sometimes it just looks like someone's turned the switch off. So he's still quite young.
Yeah.
And it's, it takes some time to get that mental game tightened up, but he's got it in him to climb really well. We watch Zoe come across the slab here. Easy does it. So you see right there, easy to fall off. It's not physically difficult, but you need to keep your wits about you on the one pretty good and one not very good foothold. And one little extra tip, and on that angle with nothing to grab, you're coming off.
Absolutely, and that's what would happen to me probably 9 times out of 10. I'm really not that great a slab climber.
I mean, there's not that many people that can say that they're great slab climbers. They're out there, but it's not you or I. Zoe getting perched up in here.
Yeah, opting for a different beta by leaning out right before getting too high up, and that seems to work for her.
Get established. That crimp is very, very small. I mean, you're not using it for much more than just keep yourself on the wall to make this traverse move. You get a good shot of it there. You get a little thumb.
Yeah. And Zoe showing her flexibility. Meanwhile, Rahul has established himself, got the bonus.
And he rushed the next move.
Yeah.
The hold on to the lip is, I mean, if it's good enough to dyno to, it's good enough to calm down and get established on and then try and make that next move. But it definitely looked like he rushed it. And I'm sure you could see there are no footholds. So you're smearing to make that move. You got to be careful. Meanwhile, Zoe
has done it
pretty calmly on her second try.
So I think it's safe to say at this point in time that ladies are going to need to be efficient and get number one done really quickly because attempts are already
at a premium.
Yeah.
So I know they did want it to be they don't normally say easy, medium, hard, but they did say that because of the way our field was set up, they did want this boulder to be more of an intro. Now Rahul a little bit more in control. It's that toe hook. Let's see if he can, not quite.
Yeah, that toe hook out left on the bonus hold, I mean, I think it helps to match, but it doesn't help you on the move out afterwards. We've seen the Forerunners do a variety of different beta there, and that toe hook wasn't the privileged method. Perhaps Rahul can make it work. He's reading right now. I think his poetry, that's great, I think. I hadn't seen that before, but I think it's great to get yourself into the right mindset. Climbing is very much a mental game, and if you have tricks like that to have you settle down, what do you think about that, Pete?
You had to ask me, didn't you? It's fine. It's fine. Do what you need to do to get in the right mindset. You got to climb 4 hard boulders, and you got to keep your wits about you. So if you need a little trick in your back pocket to remind yourself that,
go to your happy place.
There's more to life to go to your happy place,
That's
then
right.
More power to you. So with less than a minute to go, 30 seconds. This is for sure going to be all or nothing. And you see the toe hook came out very early.
Yeah.
So just not quite enough body tension, not enough core to keep that toe tucked up in there. It's going to have to walk away happy with a bonus.
Absolutely.
And we got just under 10 seconds to go. We got Paige Baklaszuk from Calgary.
Yeah, and on the men's side, Pierre-Michael Lemay. So part of Team Bloc Shop, a local crusher who does well on some of the local CC and Tour de Bloc comps. Yeah,
he's a big, strong guy, and when he gets to get his paws around something,
he doesn't let go.
He doesn't often let go. So Paige working across the slab. We're going to get a first look at boulder number 2 as well. Josh and Lily sizing them up. So Josh going into the hand jam as designed.
Yeah, that's how route setter Jackie got off, had envisioned it. Obviously you can try to undercling it, but it's probably a little bit more energy intensive to do so, and so Josh showing he's got those crack climbing skills.
I don't know if he's got the crack climbing skills as much as he's okay with one hand jam every now and then. So leaning back.
Oh, just overshot that. I think he felt it was a bit further out. Put the pedal to the metal and swung out a bit too much.
A bit too much. So Lily's gonna definitely have to get that strength through the middle of your body on women's number 2. Feet not always where you want them, and in this section here, they're not there at all. So once you have that compression move, it's a full foot off, back up on, very high. So you go from feet too low to feet too high in this boulder, both uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
So we got a top from Paige in the meantime, and PM is still working on this dyno. So an interesting way of thinking about this from the route setter's point of view is the route setters always want people to top boulders. They don't want everybody to top all the boulders, but they want to steal attempts from the climbers. They want to be like, you can have the top, but we're going to take an attempt from you here. We're going to take an attempt from you over there. You're going to second guess yourself here and come off. You're going to try weird beta for no reason and steal another attempt. So they're in this collaborative effort to get climbers to the top, but to make them work for it. Josh going static this time and showing you what his biceps are all about.
Yeah, meanwhile, Pierre-Michael has finally stuck the bonus and has just fallen, though, trying to get a toe hook in there. Meanwhile, Josh, let's stay on him because he's getting all sorts of funky.
And I think Jackie actually said you might be able to go all the way around on this boulder. So, Josh staring at the finish. 1, 2, that's a good top.
Great. I think that was his second attempt too as well, because he made short work of that. He had a first effort where he swung out a bit too much, but this time managed to sneak it home.
Yeah, and the only doing that in 2 tries is pretty important in order to save the energy for boulder number 3, as we discussed. PM sticks to dyno again.
What's he gonna do here? Okay, toe hook like Rahul. And that's where you're like, your hips are probably a bit too much out of the wall. So, for those of you at home, the forerunners, some of them have tried some back heel drop kneeing into that bonus hold. And others, I saw another strong climber, Nathan Smith, who's one of the route setters here, not competing today. But Nathan Smith, he just didn't do anything with his feet apart from smearing them out right.
And just squeeze the pinches.
That's right.
Yeah, so if you're pinchy, you can do it. And Lily goes, so.
That was a strong effort by Lily with about 30 seconds to go. I believe that's it for her on boulder number 2.
And I think we're going to get one more. I mean, the boulder number 1 for the men is not a long climb. So you can do it in 20 seconds. But I hope he doesn't. He crossed to the second last hold, and that's not where you want to be. So I hope he corrects that this time and just decides to match and squeeze here. And as you saw, toe hooks coming out.
That's right.
So Rahul had trouble with the toe hook. PM had trouble with the toe hook. Hard boulders, that's what we want. That's why we're here. So that brings us Emma Lehman from the US of A, young, 15 years old.
And on the men's side, we've got Charlie Matthew Schreiber. So he's 24, if I'm not mistaken. He's coming from Woodcliff Lake in New Jersey. And
Jersey.
Yeah.
He's from Jersey.
And he's done some, comps on the IFSC stage, participating in Vail in 2017. So don't know too much about Mr. Schreiber, but let's see what he's got in the tank.
We're about to learn the important stuff. Can you climb boulder 1?
Right.
That's what's critical right now. Feeling out the dyno. Well, Emma decides what to do on this balancy first move. Phil says his final is going to be 4+. Yes, it is. Phil, finals is. Oh, that's a good question. We haven't discussed that. So finals might be 4 flat in the new IFSC style as well. We will let you know before finals what the finals format's going to be.
Yeah, we'll try to answer that soon, Phil. Thanks for the question.
And by soon, we mean maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, soon is relative, right?
Might be 5 minutes before finals start tomorrow.
So Zoe and Rahul on problem number 2. And both have had an initial attempt or 2 on their respective boulders. And Zoe's going to try to match that bonus hold. Well, at least establish herself on it. She got a hold of it but didn't control it. So I don't think they're going to give her the bonus on that for her first attempt.
Yeah, and a good stick of the dyno on number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, thinking about the no hold scum. A little bit of desperation kicking in there. I got to grab something to oppose this right hand no foot scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think boulder number 1, it's actually quite deceptive how hard that last section is. So far, no one has really solved that yet.
No, people look. It's a fine line when people are, because you're half sticking a hold. Sometimes that means you're really close to sticking it, and sometimes you could be 100 miles away. So no one's really looked like they were well established on the second last hold, enough to go to the final hold in control.
Rahul, okay, he's made some progress, Rahul, on problem number 2, and going out 360, getting a high heel.
The question is, can you get out of your feet first, backwards body position?
Oh, and Zoe getting good control of the bonus hold on problem number 2.
Excellent stuff. So now, Zoe's showing us that if you jump into that high compression, it's going to take an awful lot of squeeze to stay involved if you can't get your toes under the lip.
A minute and 20 still to go.
And Emma making progress.
Yeah, let's see if she can press this out. Yeah, doing the mantle, and if she getting the heel there.
Just sneaking the heel on.
And there we go.
And then looking comfortable at the top.
Emma Grace Lehman making that work on problem number 1. Like we said, problem number 1 for the ladies is going to be important to top it.
In very few tries. As the field gets deeper, I think most of the middle of that top field will flash that boulder.
Yeah. I would put my bottom dollar on that.
So with about 30 seconds left, Charlie's going to get one more shot, and so is Rahul. That dyno gets harder and harder every time you miss it. And Rahul just running out of gas, trying to stick the second move on boulder number 2. And that's only after 2 tries. So running out of gas after 2 attempts, that tells you how physically involved boulder number 2 is.
Yeah.
That's going to bring us in about 5 seconds or less. Alexandra Kusela from Toronto. And Francis Bilodeau from here in Montreal.
Yeah, Francis is another Bloc Shop team member. And yeah, he's got a couple of competitions under the belt. Let's see what he can do. All right, so Francis establishing himself, eyeing up that undercling on the bonus volume, problem number 1. And we're also having our first looks at problem number 3 with Josh and Lily out. Lily Canavan.
Oh, Josh not quite on the bonus. So the argument now for the bonus is if the new style of scoring for the bonus, the official word is that you must establish the bonus and then show control by making some kind of movement. So you can't just grab it. You can't fingertip touch the bonus hold anymore. You need to grab it and then move some other part of your body to show that you have enough control to create movement. So that is the newest definition of control of a bonus hold. So if that's what we're going with, then I don't know that Josh gets that. All he did was swing and
No,
not control it in any way. So
I don't think he's getting that, no. And I think I'm okay with that rule in the sense that, it changes the route setting as well. You could see people bypassing, bonus holds and just tapping them sometimes in certain situations. And now I think, route setters have to make those holds intricate parts of the boulders themselves. So I think it's changing the route setting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The route setters are. It's hard to say that the rules change because of the route setting, but it's easy to say that the route setting changes because of the rules. So in the chicken and egg argument, I think the rules change and then the route setters adapt in order to make the competitions as exciting for the climbers and the viewers as possible. So rules are all about fairness, trying to get equality and trying to get the most fair way to judge a boulder comp. And then the route setters are all about making sure that the boulders are fun to climb, fun to watch, create separation, and make the climbers adapt. So test climbers in the most styles across the most forms of physicality through all 3 rounds. And one of my favorite examples of that is, basically everyone's standing on the mat right now. Josh is just going to keep trying to stick this bonus. There used to be that you could have running jump starts, and then the World Cup took that away. So now you see these problems where climbers pull on the wall and have to run across volumes. So route setters went, I see your no running jump starts, and I raise you a bunch of volumes.
I don't know how
running jump starts.
I don't know how route setters get along with the rule setters. Hopefully they do.
I've never really had that conversation because they always speak very kindly and very highly of the people that are the IFSC, because as you should, they are trying to do what's best. They're not in conflict, but they're definitely not always going on the same bus.
No, and a route setter will always find a way to be crafty. I mean, that's their job, right?
It's their job.
So, yeah, no one's solved any boulders so far out of all the competitors out there right now. So
if we go to number 3, we see Lily making the most progress she's made so far. This last move, this is how balancy, how good is your footwork? Oh no!
Just saw how bad that final hold is. Lily just perhaps being a bit optimistic on that, and we'll probably have to do it a little bit more delicately.
Yeah, so that's dual text all the way around, except for what you see with chalk on it. So it's not even a crimp. It's another little ball.
You know what I'd like to say it is? It's a foothold, okay, Pete? And you need to match it with both your hands. So
I would say you're probably correct.
It's a nasty foothold too, but then that's what you got for both your hands. So.
Yeah, that's what you get when you're trying to climb in a competition at this level. You've got World Cup competitors climbing here today. So if you're in the field in 15th to 20th place, you must have that realization that you're climbing on boulders meant to separate seasoned World Cup climbers. So you got to keep your chin up, because you are going to get punched in the face in this round, and that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I look at that slab for the ladies, it makes me think back to the finals last year with Melissa Leneve being the only lady to top that third boulder, which was, on the same slab wall. And she's going to come out in a couple of minutes. Well, actually down in the running order, but. We're going to be happy to see her in a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. So right now we got Indiana Chapman out for the ladies and Ben Blackmore for the gentlemen. And that gives us Emma Lehman and Zoe Beauchemin over on 3. And then we got Rahul on 3, Charlie Schreiber on 2. And we're still waiting. In 5 minutes, we're going to see boulder number 4, and then we're going to have our full sports action for the middle of the field where, we'll try and keep you up to date with everything that's going on.
Yeah. And so on problem number 1, Ben Blackmore, he's 17 years old. He's a really young up-and-comer, crushes a lot in his home state of Vermont, and has done some really nice outdoor climbs in Smuggler's Notch, which is a beautiful area, not too far from here in Montreal, about an hour and a half's drive, and got some nice schist rock over there. And he's done a V12 over there called Touching the Sky, and probably everything else in the park as well. But so Ben Blackmore, he's also done some nice results in different comps, coming in first at the bouldering regional in Metro Rock in December last year.
The question is, can he stick the dyno on number 1?
Exactly.
Indiana Chapman came off, moving across to the bonus hold. Super strong young climber from Toronto. Maybe a little bit of nerves, right? You're definitely going to be nervous coming out of ISO. So I expect her to do this boulder. She just got to calm that down a little bit and climb smoothly. So we got some progress from Emma on 2.
Yeah, Charlie Matthew Schreiber as well, matching that big pinch flake.
Oh my goodness. So he's getting a lot of limbs in a very small space right now.
So you can tell he's gotten hold of the bonus.
Yeah, it's a decent hold under there. It's hard to get at, but once you've got it, it's a pretty good flat pinch.
And Indiana,
on about her 4th try, she dynoed over. She just sort of skipped the whole delicate middle and jumped for it, which we hadn't seen yet, but it worked for her, and that's a top in, I think, about 3 tries. So I always expect good things from Indiana. She's got a string of top youth finishes throughout the country. Top 5 at Pan Am's, 1 lead. So she's an excellent climber.
And we see Ben Blackmore just outside of the image on boulder number 1. He's managed to get the bonus. And on boulder number 2, we're getting some progress here by Emma.
Oh, but still, so that move has shut down everyone so far. Without anyone looking like they were almost ready to stick it. No one sort of stuck it and swung or had it mostly established. They've all just come off taking a swing at it and not really looking like they were going to stick it.
Yeah, it's because you on boulder number 2 for the ladies, once you're getting that side pinch, you need to really get your arms up and block your arms at maybe 90 degrees, and that's why your feet cut out. And so far we haven't seen anybody be able to control that move. Rahul Sapra having a hard time on boulder number 3 with a minute left. Whereas Zoe Beauchemin is trying to establish herself on the slab, but that is also a tough ask. Ben Blackmore going for the toe hook beta that we've seen a couple of competitors attempt on boulder number 1, but no success so far.
So all of a sudden, nobody getting a whole lot of anywhere. With about 30 seconds to go, Rahul having trouble sticking even the second move now. And Ben rushing, not able to stick that dyno. Rahul's gonna take 10 seconds to see if he can get to a bonus, and no, not gonna be able to pull it out. That's gonna bring us Audrey La Rochelle from Montreal and Quentin Manzetto.
Yeah.
Getting their first looks.
And we're also going to get our first looks at boulder number 4. So a major crimp fest. I'd say, probably some of the most heinous holds I've seen on all of the walls here. And so Josh will be the first to inaugurate the intense crimping.
Let's see what kind of skin he's got left on his fingertips. Both, really good looking boulders. I love the simplicity of boulder number 4. It's 3 moves. And the women's just big, huge holds, making you question where to grab it all the way along.
Alex Kusela getting some of that foot trickery down. She stuck the bonus. But it's what you do with those feet afterwards, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing to get there. Oh,
yeah, and then that's Francis showing his intense compression skills.
He did that
got to the bonus, so we see him. Well, we don't really see it, but
it's under there.
He's got it.
And he's just trying to solve. I think he's trying to decide I mean, your mind here is, should I match the bonus? Should I go to the other volume? Should I try and put my thumbs up underneath? Should I come around the corner? Should I bump?
Or should I do like Josh and just do a 360?
Do 360.
Which is, I think, really good on Josh, because so far boulder number 2 has been giving everybody all sorts of trouble, and he really sort of figured it out second go. And here he is on boulder number 4, and like we said, first of all, your feet aren't that great. As you can see, he's smearing for dear life. And yeah, deciding that he's had enough for now.
Like, as you watch, he pulled up and like immediately decided he didn't have enough tension to go and get that last move.
And meanwhile, Audrey La Rochelle, on par with the other female competitors, has made short work of boulder number 1.
Maybe two tries. He said it's hard for us to keep track. For sure, there's a lot going on. We'll see if Alex can.
And we'll pull up the scoring at some point in time when enough competitors have come out to keep everybody at home just in the know.
Oh, look at this now. So Alex, first lady to stick that compression move and get up into the high feet. See if she can get this layback sorted. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and the crowd is getting bigger by the minute here at Bloc Shop. And as you can hear them, they were rooting for Alex, and just she didn't manage to do that.
The crowd loves to see that one hold progression. Right, you get lulled at the beginning of a semifinal round. You get lulled into, oh my goodness, nobody's going to do these boulders, and then they wake up when someone sticks one extra move somewhere. So, with about a minute and a half to go, I would imagine she's going to let the clock run down to give herself as much rest as possible. She just got to get taller in that layback to stick that last move.
Yeah, and I've also seen some forerunners actually opt to go right-handed to that final move.
Crossover.
Like as an undercling pinch move. Oh, and Quentin, he's stuck the first move on boulder number 1. What is he going to do here?
Oh. He's not happy with any of the non-foot related options. The smear is not comfortable. The wall changes angles there too. It goes from under where the bonus is, it's at about a 30-degree angle, and then you have that open book face. You're trying to have different types of opposition.
Yeah, and Paige on boulder number 3, almost getting to the fin, the big fin hold, but
we'll see what out. No, Alex doesn't have enough gas.
Perhaps on boulder number 4, Josh Muller is going to throw for it.
Staring down the top.
Oh, just came up a bit too short, but yeah, with 16 seconds to go, that's the end of Josh's semifinal round.
And just like that.
Just like that.
It feels like a lot when you're climbing, because that's a lot of rock climbing in a very short amount of time. But for us, it's like, oh, 4 boulders, and there we go. That's it, 4 boulders, done. All right, we come back with Leah Wachowski and with Charlie Osborne starting out on boulders number 1. And that's going to give you Indiana Chapman and Emma Lehman, Zoe Beauchemin on 4. And that's going to take us to Ben, Pierre-Michel.
Yeah, and so Charlie Osborne's coming out of Raleigh, North Carolina, so another young up-and-coming American climber. We're happy to have them over here.
Yeah, it's not far to come up from New York, upstate New York, so it's cool to get the Americans coming up here for sure. It's a short drive for a lot of money.
He's from North Carolina, though, I think.
Oh, North Carolina, so he's come a long way.
That's right. That's what I think. I might be wrong. People will be able to correct me on the chat, like they did last year.
People are quick. People that are watching their hometown favorites are quick to jump in with good information about them. see Zoe starting the wrestling match that is boulder number 4.
Yeah.
Just looking so stretched out. There's toe hooks to be had under there, but she's at her absolute wingspan limit. Always smiling. Love to see that. Deanna getting established on the bonus. Looking at that high heel.
Oh, and making good work of that.
That'll do. Oh.
Like Alex before, trying to reach out left after matching the second to last hold, and yeah.
Absolutely as described. Tops are expensive. You are reaching very high over your head there, and you don't have a lot to hang on to.
No,
You're not doing that dynamically.
And that hold that she's reaching out is dual text. It's a jib, and if you do not latch it properly, as we can see on that nice replay, the index finger was just lagging a bit, and yeah, just not making enough purchase to stick it.
No.
Oh, and on boulder number 1, we've got a dyno sequence to the volume.
Oh.
We just missed that on the screen, but
Yeah, that's so 2 so far. So Indiana did the same thing. She just sort of eschewed the walk across and thought, I can jump here. And Tony was saying that they know there's lots of ways to do number 1, and they're fine with that. They're fine with that. I tried A, I tried B, I went back to A, I tried C. You know, if you fall off a couple tries, they're 100% fine with that boulder being done multiple different ways. Set that way. Sometimes they are surprised to see a sequence get broken in a manner like that. Just last weekend in Austin, there was a beautiful slab in the qualifying round that guys were trying to dyno from the first hole to the finish. Not getting all that close, but trying over and over and over again. So that's none of the route setters, a crew of 12 people, saw that sequence break as even an option. And then you get times like this where they say, yeah, that's fine. There's 3 or 4 ways to do that. We don't care. They're all equally difficult.
right.
Do what you need to do.
Reward creativity, reward risk-taking.
Absolutely. And then sometimes they prefer it. They prefer you to second guess whether you didn't try hard enough or whether you didn't do the right thing. So did you fall off because you aren't strong or because there's a better way? So that's another way to steal attempts. We see Indiana running out of gas with just about 30 seconds to go. Jumps on right away.
And
Meanwhile, Zobo
yeah,
making
Zoe
progress.
Bushman, just coming short of the bonus. Meanwhile, after seeing a couple of male competitors on all the boulders, I think it's safe to say that problem number 3 is looking the burliest.
Yeah. 15 seconds to go, so enough time if she keeps it together. Same unfortunate result on that finish hold. And a wry smile from, it was in your hand. Then you're going to have to walk away without a top. Do you need that? Are you going to need 4 tops to get into the finals? Obviously, that remains to be seen, but in her head, she knows who's coming behind. She knows how deep this field is. And now she's thinking, if I got to the last hold, then all of these other women are as well. And that puts the pressure on for boulders 3 and 4. So that's part of onside climbing in this manner, is now you're in your own head. Did I do enough? And then am I suddenly in a funk, or does that push you to do boulders 3 and 4? We'll find out. Everybody's a little bit different, but this is the beauty of this type of round, isolation. You don't know.
You don't know, but you can hear the crowd. And in a semi-final round, the crowd is less instructive. It doesn't give you that much information, but I think in finals it's completely clear how the crowd reacts and the information that gives you.
Absolutely, I hear you on that. So we got Olivia Wyatt out here and Sébastien Lazur, a couple of local strong crushers.
Yeah, and Seb very used to finals of any kind here at Bloc Shop, so it'll be interesting to see him.
Yeah, a little farther down the field than I would have expected, but you just got to get into semis.
Exactly, I think that's experience for you.
So we scooch over. We got some progress on Noble number 2 from Quinton.
Yeah.
Oh. Just as I say that. And then Audrey. So she's trying to go just squeezy on that boulder, and that's going to be really difficult. Olivia making progress.
Yeah.
And as we've seen from this point forward, top is pretty. Oh my goodness.
That was surprising.
That was very surprising. I was going to say a top is a given.
That was almost commentator's curse right there.
I
Pete.
was 100% commentator's curse. Top was a given from that point, as from every climber before that. So a little mental slip, maybe a little foot slip. I'm sure she'll quickly recover. You see,
yeah, 2 minutes 35 seconds to go.
As we see PM, I don't know that he grabbed the start hold with two hands in the way that he started that boulder. It looks really strange. So I'd be surprised if that was a valid attempt. But right now, we're seeing a lot of climbers getting kicked in the teeth.
Yeah.
Sebastien. And he's going to go only smears.
And is this going to be? Yes, this is going to be the first top of boulder number 1. Local strongman Seb Lazur making it happen in 3 or 4 goes, I believe, because had a hard time sticking the bonus hold, but being the first man to top that one.
He climbed the top of that very confidently, didn't overthink the feat, smeared, grabbed the pinches.
Yeah, and he smeared. He didn't go for the toe hook like we saw other competitors do. So,
yeah, and if you've got the squeeze, it's wholly unnecessary.
So interesting technique here by Audrey, going with her right hand out to the bonus hold, which is left, matching it, and then getting back up again.
Oh, and just looking at that heel hook, but not creating enough space to get it in there.
But some good problem solving to get herself, higher up on that boulder.
Yeah.
She's got at least another go in time-wise ahead of her. Meanwhile,
Definitely.
Olivia going back up on problem number 1. She had a really unfortunate slip, and I don't know if that's affected her.
I mean, maybe you rush the beginning just trying to get to the finish again because you think, oh, I just slipped, I'll just climb my way back to the middle, and here we are seeing her struggle with that first move. Quinton back, not able to establish that bonus the second time, and I mean, he looks exhausted. He's going to call it with 30 seconds to go.
Wise
Paige
move.
buck the shuck, seeing if she can get out to that bonus hold on ladies 4, making a little bit of progress. See if she can get up here. Not quite.
Getting to the bonus is proving costly.
Yeah, it's a lot of climbing to get to the bonus on ladies number 4. That's you're a few moves in before you get there. 13 seconds to go. We're just going to see this last try, I think. 8 seconds, maybe not enough. 5, I don't think she's going to get there. 2, 1, no. So a costly slip for Olivia Wyatt. Time has run out.
We got Melissa Leneve, so inaugural Block Shop Open champion for the ladies coming out.
Right in the middle of the field.
That's right, and like we saw with Seb, just coming out a bit earlier, that can be a strategic move. Keep your energy.
Yeah, they would have known. They would have talked to each other. The scramble was open this morning, so they would have known, hey, I got 6 tops. No one's going to do 8 tops. I'm fine. I don't need to throw myself at the last 2 boulders and maybe walk away. And so you end up in the middle of the field, and people assume, oh, you didn't climb very well this morning, when in fact you just didn't put a lot more effort in on just to get one more top unnecessarily. So ranking here only matters if we have to go back to tie breaking. Pretty rare to go from finals to semis to qualifiers to break a tie. So yeah, I think you may be right. Just climbed nice and easy this morning.
Yeah.
Happily
I think
in 10th
she's
place.
seasoned enough to know what she has to do.
I would think you're right.
I'm really always impressed by seeing her climb, just her fight, her determination. I think that's always been a hallmark of her climbing, and we're just looking forward to a strong round from her. And also on boulder number 1 is Lucas Uchida. I think another mainstay of Canadian competitions. And he had a first crack at that dyno on problem number 1.
Well, Leah Wachowski making good progress on number 2. If we can have a quick look at number 2, we might see a top here.
Oh, solid.
One into the layback.
There you go.
Great
Leah.
stuff. First top.
Wikowski. First lady to top boulder number 2. So,
And quite smoothly.
yeah, and I think that was perhaps her first go because still 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, it was.
Meanwhile,
Melissa is going to get established on that foothold, and once you're there, you're quite happy.
yeah, and Melissa coming off some big walling in Madagascar, you know, and I mean, she's retired from international competition, but that doesn't mean she's stopping, you know, any kind of hard climbing this time. She was on the Tsaranoro Massif, and that looks like a crazy wall to
Yeah,
climb.
and the point being that once you walk away from competition climbing, you're free to go rock climbing. So these guys don't stop competing and then quit climbing. They
Right.
go out into the world.
And that's why I have a lot of respect for competitors like Jorg Verhoeven, who's coming up in a couple of minutes, and Katharina Sauerwein, because they've been doing that big walling. They've been doing, you know, a lot of big multi-pitch climbs, climbing the nose, dihedral wall. So impressive outdoor achievements, all the while, you know, having a more than 15-year career on the IFSC circuit,
Yeah.
on lead and bouldering. So I really like seeing Jorg climb, such a smooth, efficient, and seasoned climber. And yeah, we're in for a treat here, folks.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned. The top of the field is going to show you what this looks like. So everybody coming off just shy of bonuses through boulders 2, 3, and 4. They're doing their job. They're knocking climbers off. The route setters have an idea of how many tops they want to see on each boulder. I'm not going to tell you what that idea is because I don't want me to say, oh, they thought there was going to be 11 tops, and then you say, oh, that's bad route setting because there was 20 tops. But the route setters set with an idea of what they want to see and how many tops they expect to get based on the field, based on watching them climb the qualifiers on each of these boulders. So right now, I think everybody's still pretty happy. You know, things are going to get done. There's still time for the bottom half of the top half of this field, the second half of the semifinal group, to come and get these problems done. But right now, people are just falling off a lot.
Yeah, Lucas on boulder number 1 having a hard time getting to that bonus hold. Meanwhile, on boulder number 2, Charlie almost getting that 360 foot out beta to his advantage, but 15 seconds to go. That'll be his last attempt on boulder number 2.
And Lucas was trying that one hand under, one hand around that Josh was trying. Maybe the more bicep-y version. You know, the stronger climbers thinking, oh, I can just one arm this and then slow down using the volume.
Yeah, definitely a much harder version in that compression version because your left hand is not useful at all.
So that is going to bring us Marie-Michelle Thibault and Zach Richardson out on number 1 for their first crack. And Zach wasting no time and jumping right onto boulder number 1, just missing the dyno.
Yeah, and Seb's brushing the crack climb, I would say, the opening between those two modules and on boulder number 2.
Getting the hand jam sorted out.
Let's see if Olivia can forget boulder number 1 and get some good progress on number 2. She's going to need it because, as we mentioned, boulder number 1 has been topped quite a few times. So it's going to be crucial for her. Audrey is on the slab.
Yeah, let's see if we can get our first of the women established on the bonus hold on this slab climb. So it's uncomfortable body positions here The feet are not good at all.
Yeah, and
coming through there, not at all.
she was locking off on that second hold, which is another foothold.
It is a foothold.
Dual text foothold. Seb controlling the swing, getting the bonus.
Good work from Seb, looking pretty calm through here. Olivia just running out of gas. Good catch from Seb.
And this is his flash attempt, folks. He took some time to brush.
And really think about it.
Oh, that's a foot slip by, doing a couple of hefty bumps up that volume.
Oh, Francis coming across, not quite getting
you
onto
know
that
what?
bonus.
I'd put my money on Francis. I see him at the gym quite often, and he's at home on really small and heinous crimps. So I think he's got a chance at boulder number 4.
Audrey back up right away into this slab.
And Audrey, I'd say she's gotten the bonus.
Yeah, she's well established. It might not look right, but what you want is your left foot crossing onto that foothold so that when you get into that fin, you've got something to oppose that small barn door with. So it doesn't feel right when you're there, but that's the way it's intended to be done. So super tricky, not obvious, powerful slab climb. So far, this is my favorite boulder of the round, just because of what it tests. I think 4 is cool. I think 3 is cool. 2 is cool, but I really, really like boulder number 3
For the ladies.
That's right now, it's the shining star for me, and I really hope that through the tail end of this field we see some tops on it, and I expect we will. Quinton, this guy is throwing himself at this boulder. I mean, this has got to be, I don't know, 5 or 6 tries to this point to try and get to that bonus.
Yeah, a minute and 10 seconds to go.
So there's a good angle on this boulder, actually, to show you that there's not a lot to grab, and the position is uncomfortable.
Francis getting the bonus hold on problem number 4. And just came up short on that final move. 45 seconds to go. Seb getting a knee bar?
Yeah, Seb getting a knee bar, getting jammed up in there. And still going with that smear and a toe hook.
Oh, just casually.
That's
doing
great.
it. Yeah, Seb wants to make it back into finals.
Oh, absolutely
And
does.
protect home turf. He came in 6th last year in the initial Bloc Shop Open. And so, he wants to establish home turf.
Really nice work with that toe hook, just to keep that tension in after having tried that smear the first time and having it let him down.
Yeah, and I think it shows a lot of maturity in his climbing to bump up the right hand, because where it is with the big hold is comfortable, and going up the volume, on the arête, is not so good. So I think that he knew what he wanted to do, and he executed it well.
Yeah, he's had a few World Cups under his belt over the last 2 seasons, so he's getting used to this high pressure, varying style, high complexity style of bouldering. So Kat Kargner for the ladies and Raymond Hansen for the gentlemen have come out. That's going to put Melissa Leneve on 2, Leah Wachowski on 3, and Indiana Chapman closing out a round on number 4. And then on the men, we have Ben Blackmore on 4, Charlie Osborne, and then Lucas Uchida on boulder number 2. So,
yeah, and Raymond Hansen comes out from Massachusetts, so 21-year-old climber coming out of Melrose. And he competes quite a bit in the States. And, it's interesting. In the States, they have a collegiate series, and he came in first at the collegiate regionals in March at the Gravity Vault in New Jersey. So he's won comps, folks. Let's see if he can, get high up in the standings here, have some fun in the process. So we got Ben Blackmore on problem number 4, just outside of the camera.
Yep.
Oh, how did he just reel that
I don't know
back
how
in?
he reeled that back in.
So he's favoring that toe hook, Beta.
And obviously has some pretty good crimp strength.
Trying to cross over. That's a strong first attempt.
And a quick flash of the boulder from Kat.
And on boulder number 3 for the men, Charlie Osborne trying to do, going out to the bonus hold, trying to shift his hand to go into sort of a compression undercling on that second banana sloper hold. So I don't know, that's interesting. That's perhaps the first time I've seen that today. Maybe that'll be the secret. So far, nobody's sticking that move.
No.
Thus far.
We'll get another look at his, if he sticks with that beta or if he's going to try something different. It's definitely coordination intensive to try and flip that hand as you're making this dynamic movement. I mean, there's nothing under there.
There's nothing.
Like nothing. I mean, yes, there's a crimp screwed into the inside of that scoop, but just to have that be a thumb catch with a bad slopey pinch, and I don't see it. I think you need to stick that bonus in more control and then just keep that right hand locked down. Luke is going to maybe get inside out here.
And so a minute and 50 seconds to go. So Melissa on boulder number 2.
Yeah, came up just shy the first time. Let's see if she can correct her mistakes this time. Yeah. So lots of core tension to hold that move with the feet down low and then just unable to bring her feet up. Luke is making progress.
And we got another boulder number 1 top with Raymond Hansen.
Putting himself in the running.
That's right. And Lucas Uchida.
Uchida.
Yeah, he looked really strong on this boulder. This, I think, is his 3rd go. Still a minute and 15 seconds to go on this round. And we got Dr. Stepp here, the house MC.
Keeping people excited.
That's right.
People like stuff. Throwing out stuff. We can't throw you any stuff. If you want to get stuff, you got to come down and watch it live. If you're in Montreal, I highly recommend that you get down here to watch the finals in person. This place is going to be fantastic. The room is going to be loud. Let's see what Indiana Chapman can do with her less than a minute to go. I mean, this girl can boulder. No question about it. Just needs to unlock something in here to get this bonus.
Yeah, getting to that bonus on problem number 4 for the ladies has proven very difficult. And, boulder number 2 has been as well. So far, just 1 top by Leah Wachowski. So that's really strong. And seeing Melissa having some struggling, she's, I think, not going to climb boulder number 2. So
just going to walk away. And meanwhile, Leah's going to give us 10 seconds to go. I guess she's just sort of giving it one more college try. You're not going to get to the top in 5 seconds, but so that's time, and we're through the middle of the field. So we're now into our top 7.
Yeah, and we got a crowd favorite coming out.
Yeah,
with Alex Kazanov from Israel. Was one of many first-time Boulder World Cup winners this year.
Yep, surprised a few people only because, every time you see a new name pop up on the podium in the finals, you think, who is this guy? And everybody's got to start somewhere. I mean, all of the World Cup established climbers break into the scene at some point, and everybody suddenly scrambles around and tries to find out all the background. Who is this person? Where did they come from?
Yeah, and he's a crowd favorite just because he wears his heart on his sleeve. I'll remember his victory celebrations earlier this year on the World Cup. He obviously used some very strong language, but it was just great to see, and happy to have him in Montreal.
Meanwhile, we got Bronwyn Karnas on her flash attempt, working into this mantle. Just sort of They look uncomfortable until they get right here.
Oh, and Seb Lazur sticking to the bonus hold.
Let's get over to number 3. First man to stick the bonus. Oh my goodness, that's great. Really strong. A little guarded crimp here. He can get his footwork established.
Oh, trying to match that hold, and that is going to be a hard move, to be honest. You need to not only pinch it, you need to sort of get your palm up into it.
And then you've got to roll it over, and you can't. It's farther than it looks. So Jackie was letting us know that it looks like, oh, it's just right here. I'm right at the top. I just have this short move. But that last move is actually much farther away than it looks when you're standing underneath it. You get up into it, it's a big move.
It's a total lock-off. We've seen a couple of people forerun it, and you need to lock that hold down to your hips. And meanwhile, Alex Kazanov on boulder number 1 having a hard time sticking the bonus, hasn't yet done it. He's brushing it off, and we're seeing Olivia Wyatt, who needs a top and is really good at slab. So let's see what she can do here.
Getting into this bonus, and then see her, she's kind of got inside out and upside down on that little foothold crimp, and you can start to push away on it to help you move your center of gravity towards the bonus hold. And Seb is back up into number 3 with not as much rest as I would have thought. So he only took about a minute between tries, and hopefully that doesn't work against him.
He's looking fit, bumped up to the jib, but decided against it.
So he's tried 4 different things on this move in only 2 tries. So we went heel hook, toe on the first try, and then this time he crimp hand high, and then back low, and then heel hook, and then toe. So it tells me that he hasn't decided what he needs to do to stick that last move. He's in the movement, immediately discounting ideas and trying something new. Not always a great approach. Try something, stick with it, learn something from that failure, and then next time up, either try it again or do something else. So, I mean, it's easy to say from here, obviously, but I have climbed in my share of competitions over the years, and I've been in that space and tried to get out of that mental space of try something different, try the same thing, and it's important. Whether it's easy or not easy, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
30 seconds to go. We're not going to see another try from him, but we are going to see in about 30 seconds.
Oh, Alex getting close. But I don't know if he's got enough time. He's getting his hips high enough. I think that's the challenge with boulder number 1. The first move is that you need to get that undercling in a space where your arms are nearly at a 90-degree angle to get those biceps into the game.
Agreed.
Meanwhile, Audrey, just falling short of getting to the bonus, which is
just powering out on that move. All the women looked really good up to that point, and just unable to generate power from that really awkward body position. So yes, there are some toe and heel hooks, but you also have to pull with those arms to get into that move. So Katerina Sauerwen is out, and Alex Waterhouse.
When curiosity asks, what's across the street? And monotony says, that's not the plan. Exploration says, it is now.
So Alex Waterhouse actually is a British climber, and he's out here. I think he's studying in the Northeast for university. So he's also competed in some collegiate comps, coming in first at the Central Rock Gym comp in March, and also just last week actually came in 17th at the USA Climbing National Series event over there in Pittsburgh.
Excellent. And then you got Katerina Sauerwen from Austria, a seasoned World Cup competitor, V13 climber. Just a fantastic competitor.
Yeah.
Not a ton of podiums over her career, but a consistently strong climber all the way along.
Yeah, and she's been competing for so long. I think she posted this summer that it was her 12th Vail appearance, I believe. So those are a lot of comps, and
yeah.
she's very. I've seen climbs of her where she just never gave up, and I think that's a very important quality for a climber to have.
Yeah, and it tells you a lot that in her last season, so just last year was her best World Cup finish.
Yeah.
So a second place last year goes a long way.
So Alex Waterhouse getting the bonus. But I agree, Katha Sarwan is an amazing athlete. Toe hook beta, and that's hard to match. But Alex Waterhouse is going to have another crack at it.
I'm going to pull up the results for us here, and I'll see where we're at. So far, so good. Here we go. So right now we got Seb Lazur with 2 tops and 3 zones. Josh Muller with 1 top and 3 zones.
Oh.
And then Lucas Uchida with 1 top and 1 zone for the men. I'm going to get you over to the ladies. Leah Wachowski with 2 flashes, 2 zones. Lily Canavan with 1 and 3 zones. And Audrey La Rochelle with 1 in top and 3 zones. Meanwhile, we got Lucas Uchida looking really, really good on number 3. Making things happen over there. Just coming off shy of the finish. Boulder number 2 claiming another victim along the way. And Alex sticking the dyno just on the right of your screen and letting everybody know how he feels about it.
Yeah, we like to see that, see some passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're working hard. I mean, sticking all these moves is, pretty much brutally at your limit.
With a minute to go, Leah painfully close to sticking that bonus hold.
Raymond Hansen, who would actually top boulder number 1, one of 2 male competitors to do that, struggling to reach the bonus on number 2. He's got 40 seconds to
Melissa Leneve making the move to get established past the bonus, and we'll see what the top of this thing looks like just for the second time in 12 competitors.
Yeah.
So easy does it for Melissa. That's 1. In control.
There we have
Beautiful.
it.
That's really good rock climbing right there.
Yeah,
exactly as described.
I had my money on her for that boulder. She, like I say, you need to be tenacious on a slab, and that she has a lot of.
And
tenacity.
patient. You need to be patient, and once you rush a slab, you're in trouble. You just watch. She doesn't rush this. Even when she's this close, she takes her time to get established. You watch her shift her hips under, and then easy match.
Easy is a
relative term. It's a relative term. I say easy, but
it looked easy for her, easier than it would for me. So on boulder number 1, we've got Falco Filotto, so local climber for the last couple of years, and he actually placed 4th last Bloc Shop Open. So we know what we can expect from him. And
absolutely.
And for the ladies, we've got Helen Gillette.
As we scooch around, I just looked up and watched 3 men all fall off one after another, swinging out from their boulders. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, Falco's super strong. Some people maybe would have said a dark horse into finals last year, but I mean, he's been doing well at pretty much every comp he walks up into. He's just a good, strong climber.
Yeah, very patient climber and methodical as well, all around her.
Meanwhile, Alex Kazanov having fits with the move on 2. He's trying to do it really dynamically, and it's not working out for him. Meanwhile, Zach Richardson over on number 3, looking good to the bonus, but swinging just off every time.
Yeah, so far two men only have been able to get to that second to last hold, that big banana pinch sloper.
We'll stay with Seb Lazur, you just saw on the left of your screen with a foot slip, while looking like he had pretty good control of that first crimp.
So Alex calmly sticking that move, matching on that not so good sloper, but the bonus he's got right now is positive for sure. And you want him to put this to rest, because boulder number 1, he wasn't able to progress on that.
That heel hook is looking good. So Falco sticking holds and Bronwyn making movement too. A lot going on in the middle of your screen right now.
And there we go for Alex Kazanov. And Falco smearing out.
He's got that backwards toe hook, slips and hangs on anyway. So a good top from Falco. Almost coming off on the way to the finish.
Yeah, and we just saw Alex Kazanov insisting on giving a fist bump to Dr. Step, our MC. So we're starting to see Alex get into the comp. He's just top to boulder. That's going to make him feel better.
Good.
Yeah.
Definitely feeling good about that.
Bodes well for the next
2
boulders, yeah.
Absolutely. So we'll scooch over. Boulders 3 and 4 are now where most of the action's going to be. These guys are looking down at about a minute and a half to go. Banking on how much rest versus how much time they need to top these things.
Yeah, Olivia needs to get a strong effort on boulder number 4.
And Marie-Michelle just having trouble getting around that first move. While Zach is there, first time he stuck that bonus in control. And then just trying to get pinchy up there. One minute to go. With boulder number 4, climbers are definitely going to give it one more try with nothing really to save it for. So we got Seb down to his last try and Olivia down to their probably last try.
Yeah, Braun won as well, and boulder number 2. Ali.
See what Seb's capable of. His next to last try.
Those crimps are so bad. Every time I look at them, I'm like,
this is actually a really good angle. You see that this wall it does overhang. So from the front on view, it gives you the impression of being a vertical climb. But from that side angle, it kicks back a little bit and then inconsistently. So it tips sort of towards you while it's overhanging. So it's a really awkward set of angles to try and push and pull with.
yeah.
Really a well-set boulder for that angle for the end of the round for the gentleman. So no, it doesn't take as much power as boulders 2 and 3, but it's showing you
You need fingers.
you need fingers.
You need really strong fingers, and actually, you need to have trained like 2-finger crimpers for that specific boulder.
Exactly. So we're down to the top 5. Jorg Verhoeven for the gentlemen and Alyssa Weber for the women. Alyssa from Calgary, making the trip out this year, and not quite as far as Jorg, of course, but it's good to see Canadian climbers traveling. We obviously make a big deal about the international athletes that have come to this event, but there are some strong climbers from all over Canada that are making an effort to get here, and I love to see that. I love to see people saying, hey, I want to travel, it's worth it to come and see what this comp is like. As we look at Lucas, making very quick work of the beginning of that boulder, and then just popping right off.
Yeah, Alyssa Weber on boulder number 1, such a seasoned climber.
As you say that.
Is that a commentator's curse?
It is. You call
You're
it
like
seasoned.
complimenting a climber,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, when
they
you
fall
compliment
off.
them on how well seasoned they are as they fall off, that's your fault.
But I think, that's just to say she's going to get back up and do it.
Okay.
I hope so.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So Katerina Sauerwein on boulder number 2. Oh, little foot slip. Yeah, this is a point in the round where brushers will need to work hard because a lot of these holds are friction dependent. Now we've got Melissa. Oh,
As close as anyone's been to that bonus hold, but just fumbling it a little bit. Lucas Uchida setting up's a strong word. Getting established enough to look at that finish hold with the intent of going to get it is a long way from sticking it.
yeah, and we just saw Fred Charon, who's one of the owners, head root setter here at Bloc Shop, and he was applying some alcohol, I believe, to just clean the volume on boulder number 4. So they're doing a lot of behind-the-scenes tweaking and work to make sure these holds keep sticking for everybody. And Jorg is stuck the bonus hold on problem number 1.
There's a lot of action on this one shot here. Katerina making good movement as well. Oh, and then popping off one after another. 1, 2, 3. Almost on cue. We'll come back to Alyssa here, who's definitely being measured in her approach and should have no problem mantling this thing out. An important top here. I'm trying to ignore the debate that's going on the YouTube stream right now, where people disagree that you and I are getting any screen time at all, given that there's so much climbing going on. So we can't please everybody, but what we're trying to do is give you the full experience, and sometimes some people think that the disembodied voice gets to have a little bit of context every now and then, and we try not to cut away from any action when Phil and I are talking to you, but so we can't make it perfect. We're trying to do the best we can in the semifinal round. There is so much going on. A continuous wide shot, understandably, is difficult to follow as well. So we try and get you the action that's happening, and hopefully, as we talk about it, no, this is the perfectly wrong time. The wrong time to come to Phil and myself.
I think that's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek
maybe a little.
camera switch.
Katerina.
There we go.
With the top on number 2. That's excellent. Good stuff from Katerina. And we pan down to the end with about 40 seconds to go. Melissa Neleve is pulling on for her probably last try. Lucas Uchida coming on for his last try. I mean, this is it. Boulder number 4, end of the round. Lucas winding up. Oh, man. And, I mean, Lucas is a strong climber, and showing him that he's essentially nowhere near sticking that. So this telling you how difficult that boulder is. And the slab not being friendly to Kat either. All right, back down to zeros. So 4 climbers to go come into this round. That gives us Aggie St. Jacques on boulder number 1. And Nathaniel Coleman.
So Alex Kazanov on boulder number 3.
Jumping right in. I mean, I love to see these guys. I mean, as you said, some of them take a minute to preview, and some of them just come right at it, right out of the gate. They're like, it's not a complex boulder. I just have to squeeze all the holds in order. So we got, oh my goodness, very, very close from Zach Richardson on boulder number 4 there. He will be bolstered by that on his first try. So I would expect to see a top. Nathaniel Coleman, I mean, just one of the strongest climbers coming out of America right now.
Yeah, and he's done well in North American comps. He's done some overseas competitions, but and he's sticking
Look at
that
that.
foot scum
So, I mean,
That's the only competitor that's had any fun whatsoever
and
scumming that foot.
I think that shows you more how strong his hand strength is if he didn't need the scum so much. And then meanwhile, we got Falco getting close to the top of 2, and Alex getting close to the top of number 3. So we can cut out wide. We'll see Alex as well.
And then Alex on number 3. Oh, not this time. There's a bit of a, simultaneous centrain. So we've got Falco topping boulder number 2, which is strong for him because he's got 2 tops so far. So man to watch, Falco Filato. Meanwhile, Nathaniel Coleman just flashed number 1. Nathaniel is notorious for flashing boulders in finals in the USA Bouldering Championships. He's done that quite often in the last couple of years. So these boulders will have to watch out.
I agree. So Zach Richardson winding up for his second shot. And Mehdi Michel. So Zach was all over the finish holds 2 times in a row now.
So
just needs to slow it down a little bit.
On the scoring, we've got Melissa, who's just finished her round, and she's standing in first provisionally with 2 tops and 2 bonuses. Well, 4 zones. 2 tops, 4 zones. I've got to get used to the new format. Sorry. And then we got Katharina Sauerwein already in second place, having just, topped 2 of the first 2 boulders. So strong round coming out of her.
Absolutely.
And meanwhile, on boulder number 3, we've got Alex Kazanov that is getting high up.
And he looked really good on his first try. As you said, you got to press your palm on that left hand to really make that crimp stick.
So just a quick reminder that so far nobody has topped boulder number 3. I'd like to think someone as strong as Alex Kazanov can do it.
Right.
But someone else just came in, Nathaniel Coleman, made short work of boulder number 1.
Yeah, and remember that we got Jorg Verhoeven, we got Nathaniel Coleman, local strong crusher Julien Bourassa, Anthony Goldstein, and last year's winner Mikael Mauem coming up.
Yeah.
So we got 5 strong climbers on their way to boulder number 3. Bronwyn Karnas getting up on the slab as you see Aggie top number 1 with a minute to go. And Bronwyn getting onto the bonus. 30 seconds to go. Alex Kazanov is going to throw himself at this one more time. Powerful boulder to have tried 3 times in 5 minutes. Bronwyn just slipping off the corner of your screen. And Alex getting some focus.
Showing all his core strength.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And he tried to get clever there. He tried to, flipped his right hand over. Meanwhile, Zach Richardson getting in the finish hold long enough to swing out.
3 seconds to go. He's back on the boulder.
Right, he's just giving the crowd everything.
Oh, he stuck it, but the time is out.
Oh, wow.
That is, heartbreak for Zach Richardson.
And he thinks, why didn't I do that on the first 3 tries? But the boulder's doable.
That's right. He's got strong fingers, this one.
Absolutely.
But it won't be reflected in the scoring.
Oh.
So Julien Bourassa Moreau, a local climber, strongman.
Huge local favorite.
Won the 2017 Canadian Boulder Nationals.
And then Nora Chi coming out, a junior coming from the States, coming out on number 1. So Alyssa Weber looking at 2, Katrina Sauwin looking at number 3, and Kat Karkner on number 4.
So far we've got Seb Lazur in first place. He's finished his round, and Falco Filato is there with 2 zones, 2 tops, and he's still got 2 boulders to climb. So Falco looking strong so far. Lucas is in 3rd place, and Josh Mullen 4th. Rounding that out is Alex Kazanov in 5th place and Raymond Hansen in 6th. So Still a lot of climbing still to go.
And Alyssa on her flash attempt getting easily established into the finish of this boulder.
Just calmly putting
Very
that
calm.
heel.
Looking really good. Not phased at all climbing alongside Jorg Verhoeven.
3 minutes, 12 seconds to go.
Oh. As we see Kat staring down boulder number 4. Just coming to the same place as all the other ladies to this point.
Getting some good feedback on the live chat. We're thankful for all the nice comments.
Let's talk about climbing on the live chat.
Oh, Raymond Hansen coming in close on boulder number 4. And here's Jorg Verhoeven. Getting the bonus.
Sort of touching everything in order over here.
Opting to go face out. Well, actually face in.
In this instance.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow. That's a big catch. Double toe smearing. And then just catching a toe hook underneath.
There we
that
go.
That did not look comfortable at all. And oh my goodness, we got our first top of number 4. So while we were watching Jorg, we saw Alex, or Raymond Hansen, topping number 4 for our first look at number 4.
And that brings him up provisionally to second place.
Meanwhile, Katrina Sauerwen doing what Melissa Leneve was doing.
And look at that open hand cramp on the left. It's not a good hold, but she's resting.
Yeah, I mean, you're established here. It's just getting out of this position to the finish hold that's going to be the hard piece of this puzzle. So don't rush it. Don't rush it. Stand
there
up
we
tall.
go.
Wonderful
for
stuff.
Sauerwein.
Wonderful stuff. Mark, why you got to put us on the spot? Who are our picks for podiums? Why don't we talk about podiums when we're starting the finals? I couldn't even tell you who's going to get into finals yet. But, you know, it's too early to call podiums, so I'm not going to go there. You can put me on the spot before finals, and I'll tell you who I think is going to win, but not yet. So we're going to get through the semifinal round first.
Yeah, and just now, Katja Sauerwein, 3 tops, 3 boulders. So really strong round for her. She's in provisional first with Melissa Leneve in second place and Alyssa Weber in third.
Chasing along with 2 tops as well. So, right, it's as we see the women sending these boulders, the tops become more and more important through the tail end of this round.
Yeah, and I'm surprised to see Julien not having too much success on boulder number 1. He was opting for a sort of shouldery kind of match with a right hand undercling, and I mean, that just scares my left shoulder way too much to see him attempt it anymore. So Alex Kazanov was really close on boulder number 3. He'll need a strong showing on boulder number 4.
And again, he took about 10 seconds to look at this boulder before jumping on it.
Oh!
Very close to a flash. Very, very close. Well, we got Helen Gillet and Falco on number 3. And Anthony Goldstein and Petra Klinger.
So Anthony Goldstein is a Finnish climber, and much more used to seeing him in some really nice climbing videos where he's crushing V15s outside. So it's someone I think that we see a lot less on plastic, at least in competitions. And he does the La Sportiva Legends comps, which are great. And yeah, it'll be good to see how he measures up today.
And meanwhile, on number 1, we got Petra Klinger, from Switzerland, who is also relatively regular on the World Cup circuit.
Absolutely.
Fourth place finish this year in Russia. And then an interesting fact that came out here is that she won gold in an ice climbing World Cup back in 2015. So, not just a boulderer by any stretch, and was 6th in the combined event at the World Championships just this year. So, definitely has the fitness.
Yeah, and you can see what her intentions are in being in the combined. I think a lot of athletes are, getting ready for the Olympics. I think she's definitely one of those.
Oh, Falco. Well, sorry to cut you off, but I was just watching Falco try something different again from all the other men on number 3, and I thought he was going to do that just there and then popped off while he was trying to get his hands sorted out.
So Petra on boulder number 1, going to mantle it out. Decided to go a bit less dynamic this time, out to the bonus hold.
And Anthony finding the effects of that dyno, whose intent to steal tries is doing just that.
And Petra slowly but surely. And she's a very patient climber. We see it, regularly on the World Cup. And she's got great psych, always smiling. Great competitor to watch. And so she's got boulder number 1 done. And here we've got Nathaniel Coleman doing some 360 beta, a bit like Josh Muller did, who was our first competitor out and who actually climbed it as well.
Now it's about careful footwork at the top here.
And
Pretty
Nathaniel
clean.
Coleman, 2 tops.
Nice and clean through the first 2 boulders. Falco, a minute and a half to go. Looking good to this point. He's a big, tall guy, so he fits in that space really well.
And
Running out of power.
Alex Kazanov on boulder number 4. Looking at his skin, looking at his fingers. Yeah, that's, after a long day of climbing, like Pete mentioned earlier on the feed, it's going to come into play, all that, especially on the 4th boulder.
But you got to put it all out there. With 1 on the last boulder, you've got to think that guys are topping boulders behind you, and he's thinking a top there would be critical for him. So he's definitely going to give it a few more tries, skin or no skin.
Yeah, because Alex is actually provisionally in 8th place right now. So, I think he knows it. 45 seconds to go. He needs a top here on boulder number 4. His first attempt, his flash attempt, was really convincing. Let's see what he's got.
So you see all climbers on boulders 3 and 4, all making progress. Falco running out of gas. But, Alex.
Alex
Bronwyn
Kazanov
coming off. Alex coming off. But Helen, not quite. Helen Gillet just coming up shy with 5 seconds to go after
5 seconds to go, and Alex still on the boulder. 1 last attempt. And that's
going to do it
for Alex. We'll see with the final results in, but he's sitting in on 1 top and 3 zones. Wait a second. Yeah, he's provisionally in 7th.
With a couple strong climbers to follow. So last year's champion, Mikhail Mauem, is out on number 1, your top qualifier from the round. And Kyra Condi from the US of A is out on the women's boulders. There's an up-and-coming strong climber, 5th in Vail this year, so just shy of a podium finish.
So Mikhail making short work of boulder. Oh, there you go, a flash with 4 minutes to go still. So Mikhail, he is making a strong case for defending his title here. I mean, we're not in finals, but he's pumped.
That's a guy to follow. If you like watching people do ridiculous feats of strength related to climbing, I would recommend following that man's Instagram. It is spicy. As we see Nora working her way up number 2. And Julien Bourassa coming out from underneath these volumes.
Wow.
Nora Chi,
Nora.
nice and easy.
Young Nora just coming out and slapping that top hold with authority, saying, hey, I'm here, and I'm going to, keep
Easy
topping
does it.
boulders.
Oh my goodness. Boulder number 3, Katarina under the radar while we were watching that top from Nora. Walking past the bonus and getting up to the second last move. So that's with 3 minutes to go. We might see 4 tops from her.
Alex Waterhouse coming very close. Very close to sticking that final move, which is a capped crimp. So as you can imagine, you need to be really precise, and there is no room for error to grab that last hold.
No, and you need to be patient there as well. If you go too big to that move, you create too much momentum to be able to hold on to that crimp. So you need to be in control, although you need to be moving dynamically. So that's it's a contradiction in terms, the finish move of this boulder.
Okay, so this is Alex trying to match something that's unmatchable. Matching the unmatchable. Wow. That's crazy beta. And meanwhile, we've got Anthony Gulston on boulder. No, this is Julien, sorry.
Julien.
Yeah, Julien, he's known to express, a lot of passion and scream every once in a while when he needs to stay on the wall.
Yeah. He's an excellent outdoor climber who's turned that into really good results in competitions. Really, really good. Podiumed at Nationals. And I think he's going to put this one away. He can just stay calm on this last move. There we go.
There you go.
Easy stuff.
Yeah, waving to the crowd before even matching for the top.
And now we got our best progress to date. Similar to what
Falco
was trying, which is getting
3.
a little bit turned around on number 3. A little bit taller and definitely very strong. So different shapes of climbers trying different things at the top of number 3.
Is Alex Waterhouse out of the UK? No, he's not going to try to match that hold again. He's come to his senses. I mean,
yeah,
that just looks too painful.
Yeah,
it might be the right beta, but I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. I would love to see a top from Katarina here.
Yeah, she was so close. Got to the final module, final little triangle volume with her left hand, and had only the final hold to go.
Alyssa Weber's still trying the slab. York's still trying number 3, but we're going to stick with these two, see what they can do on boulder number 4 on their last tries. So how much power have you got left, Katarina?
So just for the record, Nora Chi has flashed the 2 first boulders and is sitting in 3rd place after only 2 boulders.
New beta from Alex here. Getting up and over. Katarina progressing through these 2 volumes. Oh, and just swinging out.
Yeah, 10 seconds to go, so.
Oh, Alyssa gonna get close.
Oh, and York was found a really nice beta that didn't involve him having to flip his feet out right, so interesting from the seasoned veteran.
And then Alyssa Weber, in the back of her head, she knows that clock is counting down, and I think she may have rushed the top of that. If she had taken one more breath, she had enough time to get there. She moved dynamically, and then just not enough to stick the top of that boulder. So close.
Petra Klinger, sorry Pete, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we appreciate the patience that you guys are showing. The commercials, which is definitely becoming important as we get to better and better live stream broadcasts. So we love that there's sponsors that want to get involved to that point. So they're short enough that you're not missing any action. So definitely we appreciate, we're going to show some love to our sponsors when we're flashing to those in between the boulders.
So no flash on boulder number 3 for Nathaniel Coleman, but had a good swing out left. Meanwhile, Falco is going to reach.
Trying to get established.
Not getting the bonus. That looks like it should. Meanwhile, Petra going in for a sort of Gaston shouldery
Going
move.
underneath and then
deciding.
recovering.
Such a fighter. Such a fighter, Petra Klinger.
Look
There
at
we
that.
go. I mean, that just shows what she can do if you can down climb hard boulders like that.
Right? Not even down climb, miss and recover, and still manage to put it back together at the top of that where other people couldn't even do the move. So that's fantastic stuff.
Meanwhile, Anthony had just a hard break foot slip on that slabby volume. He's going to brush those feet and get back at it.
And Nathaniel getting feet out right. And then feet back out left. There's a super comfortable foot jam going on over there that may be really hard to leave.
Oh, that's a really interesting beta.
I mean, he's got to release it anyway. He's not tall enough. I mean, you get that foot jam, which lets you establish, but then you have to release it anyway. So is it worth it? It hasn't shown to be worth it so far. We'll see if he goes back to it or not.
2 minutes and 13 seconds to go. So still a lot of time.
Yeah,
A couple of attempts. And I think Anthony knows this. He knows that he can do it. He fell at the very top. And so he's going to rest, let some time go down, and have another crack at it.
Falco's just going to keep pouring time onto this thing. Helen staring down number 4 like it stole their lunch money. Falco's got to get his hips in. You see, as he starts falling away, the holds aren't good enough to hold any type of gravity-based movement. You have to be in control on your way over into that bonus hold. Just coming shy. That heel hook feels really good for the ladies on number 4. And then as they make that move out to the bonus hold, it's just either shorting them or they're slipping out. So far, only Katanina showing really good progress through there. Melissa Neve stuck the bonus, but couldn't get past it.
There we go for Anthony Gulston.
Getting it right on his second try. Falco's going to keep trying, and Aggie St. Jacques just having trouble getting to the bonus. Nathaniel Coleman, 35 seconds to go. Probably his last try on this powerful boulder. And Helen Gillet. So he is going to try and hang on to that jam as long as possible. You see there how bad that crimp is. Oh my goodness, look at the body tension.
Yeah, and that's what Jackie got off. The head setter was telling us.
Look at that.
Oh,
Wow.
that's as close as we've been, folks.
Wow. A really, really good effort. And he came off smiling, which you got to like. He knows he's probably pretty happy with his 2 tops so far, but it's hard to smile when you've fallen off a boulder. Mark, the root setters are, we got Jackie Goodoff and Tonde are chiefing. Interestingly, they each picked one gender. So Jackie chiefed all of the men's boulders, and Tonde chiefed all of the women's boulders, and they had a team on each. And then it's the Block Shop root setting team. And I talked to Fred, and he said they preferred just to remain as the Block Shop house root setting crew. So that's what you're going to get. Kyra Condi
Making a very short flash.
very short work.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, she's had a great season on the World Cup. Really getting some really good results. Came in 5th in Vail earlier this summer, and 6th in Taiwan.
Mikhail going to go backwards.
Sporting a Les Frères Mawem t-shirt. His brother Bassa is a speed climber.
His twin brother.
That's
I
right.
think, yeah.
Are they twins? Really?
They might be.
They look like they could be. And there we go. So right now we got Mika, who's just flashing boulders here.
And Julien looking as good as anybody up here. I mean, he's not out of place in his third place qualification spot here. It's not a surprise to see him in the top 5 coming out of that round.
Yeah.
He's really, really strong and looking good here. If he can hold this tension, you saw from Nathaniel how much effort he put in just to make that match and make it stick.
So Jorg Verhoeven is on boulder number 4.
And Alyssa Weber looking at that clock, doing that mental math. Should I try? Should I wait? You watch the good coaching and break down what that 5 minutes looks like. And there's places in which you need to make the right decisions that are absolutely dependent on your success in a round like this. And it's when do you rest? When do you try again? Do you rush another try? So all of these things are at play in a 5-on, 5-off round. It's not just the boulders. The clock is a huge piece of this puzzle.
Yeah. And so far, provisionally, we've got the 2 local climbers, Falco Filato and Seb Lazur, currently in 1st and 2nd place, respectively. You got Nathaniel Coleman, who's still got number 4 to get on. Raymond Hansen, really strong up-and-coming climber from Massachusetts. And Mikhail Mawem, who's in 5th place. In 6th is Lucas Uchida, and 7th is Jorg Verhoeven. So Jorg knows he has to get to the bonus hold if he wants to have any chances to get to the finals.
So I just got a text from our good friends at Canadian Climbing News. They're not actually twins. Bassa is older.
Yeah, that's
than
what I
Mika.
thought.
Yeah.
But they're both powerhouses, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Canadian Climbing News. I mean, by the way, if you don't follow Canadian Climbing News, they're a great feed. They have great recaps on all comps. You don't need to be Canadian to necessarily follow them.
No, they're keeping us up to date on everything that's going on. Even there's a World Cup in Crange right now.
So Julien opting for...
shirts off for the top. Julien Bourasseau gonna try left foot out. Nope. So enough power to stay up there for that long, but not enough power to turn it around and get to that finish hold. So what are we gonna see? Are we gonna see a top? There's only 2 climbers left to try that boulder.
Just a quick update. We might not have seen it in the camera, but Jorg Verhoeven did indeed get to the bonus hold on problem number 4, getting him provisionally into 6th place. So as it stands, he's in the finals.
And Nora, 5 seconds to go, can't quite get over. She's rushing to try and get to this bonus, and the clock is going to tick down for her.
And she's already in 4th place.
So probably not as much to worry about as she might think, but you got to want to try hard no matter what.
So Nathaniel Coleman lining up boulder number 4. Anthony Golson on 3. We've got Petra on boulder number 3. And Aggie Saint-Jacques on boulder number 4.
And just like that, in the blink of an eye, we're back down to only 2 boulders on the wall.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
I agree.
Oh, Nathaniel Coleman just had another flash in his right hand, but that final crimp on boulder number 4 has fended off all contenders except Zach Richardson.
After time expired.
So good on you, Zach. We would have liked you to get the points for that.
But we liked seeing it done at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Petra has touched and untouched the bonus 3 times now. She went over, she went under, And she's just trying to find out the footwork here. And as described, that thing is tricky.
Yeah.
So she crushed the 2 steeper boulders, and as suddenly where you might expect a climber to just continue crushing around, has come up against a boulder that is fended off her first try, where, you know, just because you can do 1 and 2 doesn't mean you can do 3 or 4. Just because you didn't do 1, 2, or 3, you'll see a climber come out and do the last boulder after having not topped any boulders before that. So you've got to stick with every attempt, with every boulder. You've got to fight through, because you never know what's coming up next, and your style might be just around the corner. Wonderful.
And there we go. Nathaniel Coleman needing less than 2 minutes to get that done.
And you watch.
And look at Petra.
Right, so this is what she did the first time, and then she comes all the way back. So instead of matching that left hand, she's elected to cross over, match, and cross back. Whatever works, because you still got to get around and up and over this thing. You can see her just uncomfortable. She doesn't want to weight that right foot, in fact, to come skip it.
And you were mentioning, you were mentioning that you need to cross over your feet there.
Yeah.
That may well be the demonstration of that beta being necessary.
Yeah.
Because we know Petra's got the power to go through many sequences, so.
Yeah, she's got the chops to grab the holds. You just really showed what a wonderfully set boulder that is, to be able to say, you know, oh, I think I can just stand on this foothold and yet not get through there. Even though you can hang on to those handholds like it's nobody's business.
So Pete, with his quick goes, Nathaniel Coleman is now in first place. Falco in second, Seb Lazur in third. Raymond Hansen out of Melrose, Massachusetts in fourth. Mikael has still 2 other boulders to climb, but he's in fifth. And Jorg has just surpassed Lucas Uchida to be in that final 6th spot for the men. And
on the ladies' side, Katrina Sauerwen, 3 tops and 4 zones. In first, Melissa Leneve with 2 and 4. Alyssa Weber in third. Nora Chi in fourth. Petra Klinger in fifth. And right now, Kyra Condi is in 6th place and still has 2 boulders to go.
Oh, Anthony calmly sort of controlling the bonus, but decided to match it in an undercling without any foothold.
Oh my goodness. Petra going dynamically to try and stick that bonus. And I mean, that's as close as she got. So we might get to see her try that again. But I don't know that that's going to be the most successful. Wow.
14 seconds to go, so.
And I just looked over at Tonde, and I watched him with a wry smile as he was watching Petra try and stick this move. She's trying to thumb pinch the worst hold on the wall in a full barn door. So hats off for trying, but that was going to be incredibly powerful to stick it in that way. All right, so Mika and Kyra looking at boulder number 3, and Julien Bourassa and Nora Chi looking at number 4. So Kyra right away. Oh my goodness, look at that. So she did essentially what Petra was trying, but slower and calmer, and she is just walking up this boulder. I am really impressed.
Flash for Kyra Condi.
And not just a flash. In great style. That was wonderful stuff. Really, really good. Mikael staying in this position. A dynamic foot switch.
Such a great climber to watch. So enthusiastic, but also dynamic, and you can see why he's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to recommend that you go back and watch at the end of this semifinal, Kyra Condi's ascent of boulder number 3.
I think it's
I don't
make
know
its
that
way
you
into the
appreciated as it happened. Maybe we were just like, oh, I'm just watching somebody. You go back and watch the way she does it after watching everyone before her. That was outstanding.
Yeah, you'd like to see an Udo Newman video recap of comparing all the climbers on that, but she just found her way to shift her weight and just smear in the exact spot that was necessary. It just looked really easy.
Really, really
and
good.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Pete. That is one of the highlights so far of this comp.
You get and JV getting as close as everyone that's touched the last hold, but yet still so far away.
Yeah,
it was interesting to watch Nathaniel. As he went to the finish hold, he matched it immediately. So he didn't try and stick it with a one-arm swing. He knew he was going to have his left hand in there to squeeze. That's a triangle volume. You can't see. The lighting's really strange. But that crimp is on. There you can see it from this angle. That he got right away, got his left hand on to establish, and that seems to have made the difference as basically the only person to top the boulder.
In the allotted time.
In the allotted time. So Mika staring this down, suddenly come up against a boulder that he can't do. So
2 minutes to go though, and
lots of time, and they expect to have boulders that they might not be able to do, but having done the first 2 problems the way he did them, he maybe has been a bit surprised with how hard the last move is on boulder number 3. Julien. Looking really good to this point.
That was as close as you can get, but we've seen a number of competitors get right there, and so.
Now we got Nora working her way through the bottom of this boulder. Hasn't had much success, much the same as everyone who's come before. We get up into this position here, and then just running out of things to squeeze. 1 minute to go. Mika getting long here.
Opting to come back.
So he's got some squeeze to spare. Keep changing his mind.
This is interesting, Beta, because his left arm.
Oh, wow.
Oh!
Left hand just blew off as he put almost his entire body weight into it.
And he's having a great time. Came back up smiling and clapping as if to thank perhaps the root setters for.
Thank is a strong word, maybe. Oh, Julien Bourassa. He's going to wave to the crowd with 10 seconds to go. And here we're going to get with time's running out, everybody. You're going to get a good look at Mika here. And shifting his weight over and then looking so strong until just pop. That left hand. Not enough hold for the amount of power that he was putting down onto it.
So I think it's safe to say boulder number 3 will not be topped. It will go untopped.
Yeah, that's a guarantee at this point. Painfully close. I think the root setters look fine with it. They don't need all the boulders to be topped. They need them to be tried, but they don't need to be topped.
So we see the crowd shifting towards the final 2 boulders. Petra Klingler is going to have a bout with boulder number 4. Anthony Galston.
I like her chances here. I mean, it's hard to not say that, a boulder is in somebody's style when they are a powerful climber, but powerful climbers like powerful boulders. So this is, you want to see this boulder get topped.
Yeah, Katha Sauerrein was really, really close.
Yeah.
Falling at the final move.
Oh, a near flash from Anthony. That'll be It's interesting. You say a near flash gives you that hope, but we've seen 5 or 6 of the gentlemen now get their right hand on their flash attempt on the finish hold and then not do it. So while it does bolster your confidence to think, oh, I can do this boulder, it's still really,
you
really
don't
hard.
got the points till you match.
Exactly. Exactly. So he'll get a few more good cracks at it. Petra's going to evaluate the amount of effort it takes to get onto that bonus hold.
And it's really interesting to see someone as strong as Petra, have a crack at boulder number 4. And, we are, very much dealing with a world-class boulderer on a very hard boulder. And, all the competitors have had a hard time getting to the bonus. So far, just Kata Sarwan getting up really high. But now we see.
Oh, look at that.
So she's grabbing the undercling. There's a big jib where she's got her left hand.
And then you've got to get volume-y. Trust that it's not a good foothold. So you're trying to step down on something that's tipping underneath you and sliding to the left. That's about as bad as a foothold gets for how big it is.
Anthony Gulson checking to see his skin before throwing. Oh, statically doing it. I mean, really leveraging the fact that he's a taller climber. He kept that smear on that volume all the way going to the top. I like his chances. He's got still 2 minutes to go.
2 minutes and hopefully enough skin. Petra will, she made a really easy adjustment between tries 1 and 2 that got her up past the bonus. And see if she can make a small adjustment to her footwork to get from these 2 triangle volumes through the latter half of this boulder. And I mean, the last half of this boulder is not a giveaway. The top is super, super tricky. And you're gassed. You are absolutely gassed by this point from the round you've had. They're still moving well. Just got to trust this footwork.
Opting to go a bit to the right of the volume, almost cupping it, and then now switching her right arm.
So led out right by the fact that there's at least a foothold over there, but it doesn't put you in a great body position to make the movement. So Anthony with easily established in this position and then going almost statically to the last hold, but not quite having the gas to get there. So just under 40 seconds to go.
Anthony knows he needs this in order to get 2 tops. He's currently sitting in 10th place, and he's got 30 seconds to go. So this is an important moment for him in this round.
Absolutely. Petra's fine regardless. She won't know that, of course, so she's going to keep trying the boulder. And right down to the wire, we're going to get ourselves some sports action with full effort from both of these climbers. And you can always tell when they start coming up lower and lower, you know they're getting diminishing returns. Great round from Petra, comfortably in 3rd place. So with 1 climber to go, with Kyra and Mikael. On the ladies' side, you have Kat Sauerwein, Kyra Kondi, who's climbing now, already in 2nd place. Petra in 3rd, Melissa Lineve in 4th, Alyssa Weber, Canadian, in 5th, and Nora Chi making that 6th place spot.
And for the men, we've got Nathaniel Coleman in 1st place, topping 3 boulders. Falco Filato with 2 tops. Seb Lazur also, another Montrealer, in 3rd place, and Mikael in 4th, and Raymond Hansen in 5th, and Jorg Verhoeven in 6th place. So it's all set for the men and the ladies as well. Who's going to be in the final spot?
I want to see this get topped, and I mean, Kyra's our last chance, and if you look at the way she's climbing this, as the way she's climbed everything else, she looks so confident. Look at that. So she's going to go out right, making the last move more difficult, but for her, still doable.
There you go. Just so solid, Kyra Kondi. Just
wow.
Amazing form.
Threw down that round. They had the strobe lights ready for someone to top that boulder. So strobe lights kicked in. Karakandi with a big grin, topping all 4 boulders in the round.
Yeah,
Flashing.
And you can bet those strobe lights are going to be coming in handy tomorrow night for the finals.
I hope so. A good replay here. So right foothold is not the best position to finish this boulder, so the harder way to do the top, and yet one wind up, all points off. Good stick and a big smile. She will be definitely happy with that round.
And that was another flash, folks, so, you know, we knew she was making finals, but just put an exclamation point on it.
Yep. So although on your screen it says 0, there are 3 minutes to go for Mika. I mean, it's he's in now, but he's going to try for 3 more minutes to top this boulder.
Opting for a toe smear. Interesting.
These guys are not thinking when they get to boulder number 4 that 2 tops is enough to get in. So they're definitely in the belief that they need to top this thing. A really hard round for the gentlemen. Really hard. They'll be feeling that tomorrow. Of course, they'll all sit around and talk about it this afternoon and then before finals, and they'll get that realization that, oh, you fell off that as well, and it took you 7 tries to get this one as well. So they kind of get to reset the internal clock of, okay, am I still climbing well in the field? And numbers aren't everything. You want to talk to the other climbers about how you got to where you were. So it allows you to settle that down a little bit and think, oh, okay, I'm in the finals. Sunday's a new day. We just come back right at it. Let's see if we can close our round out, close this semifinal round out with a top from Mikael. He's taken quite a bit of time to rest before coming at this thing on a 3rd try. He doesn't look as good as some have looked to this point.
I think Mika prefers volumes.
Yeah.
But who wouldn't with those 2 holds?
With those holds? You might even get me to say that I prefer volumes after trying to climb that thing. He's brushing it, which makes me think he's going to try one more time. So we're going to close our round out with an attempt.
Yeah.
Really love the shape of that morpho volume. 7-sided or something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6-sided. Really interesting shape. Tricky footwork.
And
no 2 angles are the same.
We've got Petra coming out and brushing Mika's
the
holds.
finish. That's awesome.
She wants to see him top it like we all do.
30 seconds to go, Mika. What do you got for us? The people in here are really behind him. One good try. Not quite. So big smile. He's going to wave to the crowd. Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, that's your semifinal.
Yeah.
I think the boulders were great. I think they did exactly what the route setters intended. We have a solid group of finalists, well decided. A bunch of styles were tested. And we got some good local talent climbing this afternoon. We'll have a good look, give you one good strong look here. So, Nathaniel Coleman, Mikael with 2 tops to be in 2nd place. Falco from Montreal in 3rd. Sébastien from Montreal in 4th. And then Ray Hansen and Jörg Verhoeven are going to round out your top 6 for the men. We'll pop on over and see what the ladies have to say. So Karakandi with 4 tops. Katerina Sarawen with 3. Petra Klingler, 2 tops in 3rd place. Melissa Leneve in 4th. Alyssa Weber, going to be your only Canadian in the finals in 5th place. And then Nora Chi in 6th. A hard round for both genders. I hope you enjoyed watching. I thought the boulders were great.
Absolutely. Great show.
Great show.
And tomorrow's going to be something else. A lot more strobe lights and
bigger crowd. Absolutely come back and watch. We'll post a lot about when that's going to be tomorrow. But we're going to have a great final show for you guys. And if you're in Montreal, get down here and come and check it out. Climbing the Citizens Comp even. Come back and watch the final. Bloc Shop Open 2018. Thanks for watching. I think that's going to do it for us.
Yeah. See you tomorrow, folks.
See you tomorrow.